Disturbing allegations about accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein and members of his social circle. Those allegations come from newly unsealed documents from a now settled court case against Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell. A woman claims that Maxwell groomed her to be a sex slave to Epstein and was trafficked to some of his most powerful associates. Among those associates, a former senator and a governor. Here's ABC's Lindsay Davis.
Tonight, the Jeffrey Epstein scandal is growing. Bombshell accusations point a finger at some rather notable names. 2,000 pages of documents were unsealed in Manhattan federal court related to a defamation case brought by Virginia Roberts Giuffre against Ghislaine Maxwell, an Epstein associate. In court filings, Giuffre says she became an underage teen sex slave for Epstein, who was later directed by Maxwell and Epstein to have sex with many, quote, powerful men, including numerous prominent American politicians, powerful business executives, foreign presidents, and other world leaders. Among those Giuffre names in sworn depositions, British royalty Prince Andrew, former governor and UN ambassador Bill Richardson, and the influential former senator from Maine, George Mitchell.
Greetings. Elder Black here, Blacklight here. I want to thank all my subscribers. I just want to insert this into this video. I believe that I'm divinely appointed to put the new school up on game. See, a lot of brothers and sisters in the new school think they got a lot of street knowledge or book knowledge. But it depends on who you was taught by. In order to have a real well-rounded knowledge, you got to have an alternative source. And a lot of you don't have that. You're not really educated until you be educated by Master Farad Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and all his disciples. And until you had that up under your belt, you just got a one-sided viewpoint. But you always got to go to the root of all things to get the actual equation.
Breaking news this hour, officials say multimillionaire Jeffrey Epstein has taken his own life in a New York jail.
Yeah, Epstein pleaded not guilty in July. That was the charges of trafficking dozens of underage girls, some as young as 14 years old, forcing them to have sex with his powerful friends. And joining us now is CNN legal analyst Paul Callan and Eli Honing on the phone. Paul, let me start with you first and foremost. I guess the big question now is what happens to the federal case that was moving forward?
Well, the federal criminal case will end with his death. These criminal cases do not proceed after the death of a criminal suspect. But on the civil side, where people are suing for money damages, those cases will continue. They'll now be converted into an action against the estate of Jeffrey Epstein. And he, presumably from press reports, has a substantial estate.
We are following breaking news. Jeffrey Epstein found dead in jail this morning. A New York Fire Department source telling Fox News that he was transported out of the Manhattan Correction Center just hours ago. There are reports his death was an apparent suicide. This comes just 2 weeks after Epstein was placed on suicide watch. The disgraced millionaire financier was being held without bail on child sex trafficking charges.
Governor, hi. Do you have a travel?
To combat the communist peril in the Italian election, the Pontiff of Rome repeatedly urges the people to vote against the Reds.
To the highly anticipated release today of thousands of pages of documents from a lawsuit filed by a woman who claims financier Jeffrey Epstein kept her as a sex slave. Mola Lengi reports on some big names mentioned in those documents.
Newly unsealed court documents include a sworn deposition from 2016 when an alleged victim of Jeffrey Epstein was asked which politically connected and financially powerful people she was directed to have sex with as a minor. That woman, Virginia Giuffre, has long accused Epstein and his one-time girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, of sexually abusing and recruiting her into the alleged sex trafficking ring. But the new documents name more names. Former U.S. Senator George Mitchell and former New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson. Richardson issued a statement today calling the allegations completely false. Governor Richardson has never met Ms. Giuffre. Mitchell echoed that denial in his own statement, saying he has never met, spoken with, or had any contact with Ms. Giuffre. The court documents stem from a now settled defamation lawsuit between Giuffre and Maxwell. Giuffre has been among the most vocal of Epstein's alleged victims.
You know, before you know it, I'm being lent out to politicians and to academics and to people that royalty.
In her deposition, Giuffre mentions, among others, Prince Andrew of Great Britain and high-powered attorney Alan Dershowitz, claiming Giuffre was trafficked to have sex with him in New York, Palm Beach, New Mexico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and on Epstein's private jet known as the Lolita Express. Dershowitz told CBS News today these documents exonerate him. He followed up with a statement saying, Giuffre invented the false accusations against me only in 2014 when her lawyers pressured her to do so for financial reasons. I never had sex with an underage person, Dershowitz claimed. I never socialized or had sex with any woman connected to Jeffrey Epstein. The court documents also include some new details about President Trump's relationship with Epstein. Giuffre says Trump and Epstein were friends. Flight records show then-citizen Trump flew on Epstein's jet in 1997. But Giuffre also said, according to the documents, she never had sex with Donald Trump, nor did she witness him have sex with any other girls. The president says he cut off Epstein years ago.
Well, Jeffrey Epstein is sitting in a prison cell in Manhattan tonight on federal sex trafficking charges. That trial is set for June 2020, and major prosecutors say more alleged victims have come forward in that case.
Devices which would have enabled the CIA to use this poison for, we have indeed, for killing people.
The round thing at the top is obviously the sight. It works by electricity. There's a battery in the handle, and it fires a small dart.
And the dart itself, when it strikes the target, does the target know that he's been hit and about to die?
A special one was developed which potentially would be able to enter the target without perception.
As a murder instrument, that's about as efficient as you can get, isn't it?
It is a weapon, a very serious weapon.
I first began working in intelligence while I was in the Army in Germany during the Cold War years. Later, when I was a student at Penn State, I was recruited by the CIA.
The guy told me he was from DOD, Department of Defense. We were recruited, believing that we were being recruited by DOD. It wasn't until we got to Washington that we found out it was CIA. However, the day just before we left for Washington, we were sent a telegram that read something like, your employment with the DOD will involve assignment to CIA. And we didn't even know what CIA meant at the time. Didn't even know what the initials stood for.
Yeah, so I'm just here to put you up on game. Game that you can't peep into because on how you was educated in this world. See, there's another world called your world. This ain't your world that you don't, or you're not familiar with. Put it like that. You don't know how your world rolls. So the only way you would know unless you was educated by Master Farad Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. See, I've been trying to show you and tell you how things are in this world that you're living in. Showing you about Nipsey, about the gatekeepers, the Black Conscious Movement, and every time something get popular in the black community, as far as knowledge is concerned, there are powers to short circuit that knowledge and have you go against that which is really good for you, because it depends on who's presenting this knowledge to you. And if you don't have a powerful force like Master Farad Muhammad behind you, then the enemy will get to the leader of that knowledge and make him change his game up, make him change his change directions, or else he'll be killed, or somebody in his family members will be killed. So it's the way you present this knowledge. A lot of people ain't gonna understand, but you can tell the way they mess with my channel that it has an effect. It must be something good. You say, well, he only got a few subscribers, 180. Yeah, that's true. And that should tell you something, because the truth is not always popular. And what's popular is not always, more than likely, ain't the truth at all. Because they tell you what you want to hear. I'm telling you things that is uncomfortable, taste bitter like medicine. Powerful medicine tastes bitter in your mouth, but it does the stomach also good. Bitter when you put it in your mouth, but sweet going down. Stay tuned.